really interesting. It says Carl.
What in the world is that? I mean, they've never seen anything like it. Hey, it's Jason with Denwerks. Got something pretty cool today. It's a 1971 Ford F100 Sport Custom. Super cool little truck. Very, very nice little driver. You know, it's not a show truck or anything like that, but it's actually in really nice condition. We did a lot of nice work to it. It has a 302 in it. We'll talk about the engine and stuff more. Automatic transmission, C4. You know, it's just a nice old truck, and it sounds great. Rev it up a little bit. You know, it's got a true dual exhaust. I like the way it sounds. So we'll just walk around the front. This has always been in Oregon. It has actually Oregon original blue plates. I have my Denwerks logo there on the front, and the front plate is a little bit more faded, but it's the original blue plates when it was sold new, and I believe it sold new in down in Eugene, Oregon, which is about an hour south of here, to a gentleman that lived in Springfield. So we'll just start with the lights first. You can see the marker lights are working, headlights. It's a little sunny out here. You got bright lights, and we got blinkers. We got our left, and we got our right. We actually have all the marker lights working down the side of the truck. You can see them down there in the back. These are just reflectors in general, but back there is a marker light there. So we'll go ahead and just look at the paint. It has been repainted once, and you could paint it again if you wanted down the road, but I'd probably just drive it. You know, you can see a lot of little flecks, you know, where paint's kind of chipped off. A lot of little touch-up, you know, spots. I'm not going to point every one of them out. I'll kind of point out bigger ones in general, but you know, definitely it's got a lot of little paint touch-ups. You know, this is a Sport Custom, so it has all the trim. You can see the rocker molding, trim around the wheel wells and everything. So it's actually a nice option little truck in general. The grille looks in good shape, but you're going to see little scratches and different things on it. I love the blackout headlights in these years. I just think it looks kind of pretty cool in the bezel. You can see here there was a little damage, probably a little bumper hit that just bent that up a little bit, but not much. If you compare the two, you can see that. But definitely a little something happened there on the balance up here in the front. The little lenses I was looking at real fast, you can see a little cracking in that one. That one has a Ford script on it, but I think this one might be, that is a reproduction from LMC. It's nice that you can get a lot of the stuff for these trucks. You're gonna see some little pitting, little crazing on some of the chrome. It does have a new windshield in it and new gasket. We actually put that in ourselves here. You look at the top of the roof, in good shape. The gutters, no rust around that's a typical area. You'll see rust right here in these areas, and this is actually pretty clean. Take a look at the bottom of the doors. We'll put it up on my lift so you can see it, and you'll see that it's actually pretty clean. But you can see a lot of little touch-ups and stuff on it, and some of the touch-ups don't even really match. You know, it's kind of, you know, someone just touched it up through the years. You see some little fleckles and different little things, little imperfections. You can see some little tiny micro blisters on the door there. It does have 3 tanks, but we're only running it off that tank. Right now, we've never tried the bottom ones in the rear. You know, the trim looks pretty good, but you're gonna see little dings, small little dents, but overall, very usable. You'll see this is dented in just a little bit. Here's some of these bigger chips, obviously on the bed. You know, another little scrapes that have been touched up. Bad touch up, but you know, what do you do? It was there when I got it. Little scrapes in general, but you know, it's when you get close you start noticing stuff. But you know, from the distance, it looks great. You know, no one really makes any comments when they see me around with it and stuff. You can see here the bed Looks overall pretty nice. Hasn't hauled too many heavy loads or anything like that. The floor actually looks really good, but if you look up here in the front, you'll see that this bottom piece here up in the front is rusted out. You could probably replace that with a piece of sheet metal or something like that, but it is all the way across the front there. Hopefully you can see that good. The framing underneath actually looks really good. When I put it on my lift, you'll see it. We'll take a look at this side. So I think if you just put another piece in there, someone might ask, well, how'd that happen? And what happened is there was probably a bunch of leaves that just sat in there for years, and since the truck, you know, slopes a little bit towards the nose, you know, has a little bit of a tiny rake from the factory, the little drains got clogged and it rusted out the front of that. So that's the worst thing on the truck overall. It doesn't really bother me in general. It's probably not going to rust there anymore because it's got enough drainage for now. You can see it's got a toolbox. I can't remember if we have the keys to that. I think we do, so we'll double check on that. So we'll go ahead and flip it around so you can see the other side. Hey, just wanted to take a look at this side in general, just so you can see it a little bit better in the sun. Again, it looks great. I love the factory red. It's got kind of a maroon interior, but just a nice looking truck. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the lights. Got our tail lights. You can see we got the lights working there, and the bumper. That's an aftermarket bumper, by the way. It was on it when I got it. Blinkers all work, and the brake lights. And the reverse lights don't work. They're not hooked up, so I think it needs, the neutral safety switch works, but actually the light for the brakes is in that same system. So I believe that's what you'd have to do to fix that. Me, I probably wouldn't worry about it too much, but if you wanted to fix them down the road, you could. You know, you can see a lot of scrapes on the bed here overall. You know, again, I just can't point everything. There's a couple little bubbles at the bottom of the bed here, of the tailgate, a couple little spots. But overall, it's actually in pretty good shape. Go ahead and take, there's a little ding right there, a couple little chips. Not a very good touch up there, but the guy tried. You could probably wet sand that and get most of that off there. I mean, there was a chip here and a chip here, and he went a little crazy, I guess. A couple little scrapes and stuff on the rocker molding, little ding chips. Again, a lot of little fleckled type little chips there on the bed. But overall, you know, when you look down the side, actually fairly straight. You know, there's a small waviness, but overall pretty nice old truck in general. You can see some little tiny bubbles right here. Pretty common because there's a little seam right there, but a couple little bubbles right there. Another bad touch up. You can see inside the gutters, again, look really good. You know, just a solid, nice driving truck overall. Little scrapes. You know, just various little things. So hopefully that gives you a good look at it in general. You know, it's pretty clean. We did put new tires on it and did put factory wheels back on it with hubcaps. It actually had some chrome modulars that weren't too fancy looking and old tires, so we put new tires and stuff on it. You can see this piece of trim is kind of dented in. You can see that. So you could probably hammer it out a little bit, or probably just buy a new reproduction or a used one. So hopefully that gives you a good look at the exterior. We're going to go ahead and show you some more stuff. Hey, we're going to take a look at the interior real fast. I just wanted to show you the door locks do work. Actually really nice interior overall. I did have the seat redone, you know, kind of in a maroon blood red kind of seat, kind of rich looking. Looks in really good condition. You can see the door panels, not bad, you know, a little flaking, a little bit on the chrome. Someone did put speakers in it, but the radio does work. You can see a couple cracks in the steering wheel. Easy to replace if you wanted to do that down the road. Dash pad is aftermarket, but looks good. Overall, there's no cracks or anything in it. In general, you can see the headliner is original, kind of a cardboard. You can see the little light works there. Original floor mat. I've always liked the floor mats in these. You can see a little crack right there along the edge. In general, take a look behind the seat here. You know, overall looks good. Original tag on the door jamb. You know, again, the door jambs look nice. You know, a lot of little chipping and stuff like that, but you can obviously see there hasn't been any accident damage or anything like that. Actually looks really clean. You can see a little paint flaking off right there. Could use new rubber gaskets around the doors. You can get those at, you know, various places. The channel window felts need to be replaced. I'm going to show you the windows. They do roll up nice though. Show you the other one here. Keegan will help me. Take a look at the gutters up here. You know, we'll take a look at the other side. Here's that plate I was looking at, or the front plate. You can see why, you know, that definitely that's been on front since new. All the rock chipping. And you can see inside this little bed. It's got a little tray there that slides back and forth. You know, it's pretty handy in general. So I'll take a look at the other side real quick. Hey, here we are on the passenger side. A minute ago I was showing you that little tag on the door, the original tag. You can see the door lock does work on this side as well. I won't spend as much time on this side in general, but overall looks nice. We'll get behind the wheel and I'll show you everything that's working. You know, pretty good shape. It's got an aftermarket radio, you can see there, but it does work. Go ahead and look at the jamb real fast. Again, no accidents inside here. You know, just like the other side, you'll need to replace the gasket. This gasket's not as bad, but you can see a couple little cracks down there on the bottom. Look inside the channel. Looks in pretty good shape. This here is the original seam sealer, coming apart just a little bit. We took pictures underneath the door so you can see them as well. You'll need new felts on this side too, but overall, pretty clean old truck. Watch the way the door shuts. Just like a Mercedes, sort of. Hey, we're gonna take a look underneath the hood. It's old enough you don't have to pull a little thing underneath the dash. There's just a little lever right there. You know, it's got a 302 in it. Actually runs really good. You heard it running the whole time there, and actually drives really good. We didn't rebuild the motor or anything like that, but kind of just did like a small cosmetic restoration on it in general. I did buy a new air cleaner for it. Had a little chrome one on it, and we got correct valve cover gasket, or valve covers on it, and put new gaskets. But we did replace the intake manifold gasket, timing chain we replaced, and new water pump. While we were there, we figured, well, it's all apart, let's replace that too. We weren't originally gonna replace the timing chain, but when we had the intake manifold off, we thought, you know, a lot of these trucks had nylon gears and on the timing chain, so I thought, let's just take it all off and replace it for the next guy. You can see it's got its original tag on the engine, which is really nice to have. power brakes. We did do the brakes all the way around. It's got drums. You can see the original jack. The other thing we're looking at here is hasn't been hit or anything in here. You know, it actually looks really clean overall. You know, another spot you'll see sometimes a lot of rust is right underneath here. You know, moisture gets trapped, and it actually looks in pretty good shape overall. The cowl is in good condition as well. So go ahead and fire it up. Here, run real fast. You know, it actually runs really, really good. Go ahead and rev it up a little bit. You know, it sounds really nice. Hit the horn. Pretty fancy. I was going to replace it, but I like that. So, little Ooga horn. Here comes Stanley. He was pretty excited over it. Another thing here that you don't usually see is a lot of people take that fan shroud off. You know, that really helps the engine keep cool, so it's got its factory fan shroud on it. We did flush the transmission fluid, or we did flush the antifreeze out, so it's all clean. New exhaust manifold, gaskets, and we had the transmission rebuilt. You know, third gear was kind of acting kind of funny a little bit. I mean, it was working okay, but we went ahead and just selected take it out and rebuild it. So all the brakes have been done as well. So nice old truck. Thanks for cruising around with us in the little 71 F150. It's actually really fun to drive. Just wanted to show you a few things on the dash. I'll plug the lighter in. You can see actually I gotta put it in park real fast. You can see the blinkers work, the hazard lights, blinkers as well. Hopefully you can see that. Red hot. Hopefully you don't take up smoking after you see that. Just wanted to show you the wipers. You can't see it, but the lights do work in the dash. And I can't remember if I showed you this already. The horn, heater. You can hear the defrost. It just blew a whole bunch of stuff out of there. That's just classic. We'll clean that up before you get it, maybe. But all the gauges seem to be working. You know, if we're looking here, typical car salesman, you can see the gas gauges on E, but it does work. Temp sender works, oil pressure, you know, it works, 29.5, 65, and the speedometer works in it. So we'll go ahead and take it out for a little spin. Just cruise it out in my neighborhood. I like it out here. Live way out in the country now, so a lot of great roads in general. So it actually drives really nice. We did put new shocks on it and stuff like that. You know, it doesn't shake all down the road or anything like that. I'll lay on the brakes here to show you how it stops. It actually stops nice and straight. Got my hand off the wheel. No shaking or anything like that. So overall pretty good. So we'll just cruise around a little bit and show you some more stuff. We're going to put it up on my lift, show you underneath the hood. In general, I just wanted to show you the kick down. You can hear it just kick down there. I'll do it again just so you can hear it. You know, so everything works good. It should with the new transmission. So we'll just cruise around. Today we're going to take a look at the truck underneath. As Stanley almost knocked me over there. You're obviously going to see the still photos and everything in the auction, but I like to get underneath and, you know, take a video of things. We can kind of point out different things and just show you different things, poke on things. This is actually the second thing I look at when I look at a rig, you know, in person. I actually hop underneath. First I look at the outside and think, man, it looks pretty. And then I'm underneath looking at structure, looking for damage, looking for rust. So that's what I'm attempting here. Video-wise, you get to actually see a lot more of the truck than when I actually bought it, you know, for the first time. So we'll just start here from the front to the back. You can see it hasn't been hit up here in the nose. No repairs or anything like that. It actually looks pretty solid. What you will see here is the battery box. We did refabricate a battery box back in it because it was rusty. But if you look at everything else, it looks really clean. We did put new shocks around it all the way front and back. You can see the other two back there. We went through all the brakes. Tires are new. You know, everything looks in pretty good shape overall. We had the transmission rebuilt. That's something we didn't do ourselves. We hired a company to do it. It had lost, you know, you can still drive it, but third gear was really, really weak, and we didn't want that for the next person, so I just thought, let's just go ahead and rebuild it. You know, you can see up here, body mounts look really good. They're not rusty around there or anything like that. Floorboards look really good. Sometimes you'll get rust right there and these floor extensions, but again, the floors look really, really good in general, especially the rockers. You know, you look in between here, very, very clean. Right here is the valve for the gas tanks, and we haven't been using the back tanks. I actually haven't even really tried them because I don't know the condition of them, and we don't want to draw anything into the fuel system in general. You can look here, center of the floor. It's got dual exhaust, you know, with cherry bombs on them. You look here at this side of the floor. It actually same thing on both sides. Very, very clean, very, very original. You can see the back of the cab. Looks good. You know, and it's not rusty. Look at the cab on this side real fast. You know, again, very, very clean. You can see all the pinch welds, spot welds and everything. Look good. So this is the tank. This is the tank over here. You can see here they stop the exhaust from going out the back and they go out the side, which I don't mind. New shocks. When you see this code on anything you guys buy from me, that doesn't mean we replace the housing or anything like that. It just means that we replace the oil, and they're on 619. You're going to see the same thing on the oil filler. You'll see it on the transmission as well. You know, look at the bottom of the bed. Looks good. There was some rust underneath the bed, but you really can't see it right here. Right here in this section, the front of the bed has some rust in it, but you can't see it from this side. It's on the top piece underneath, which I showed you in the video earlier. You know, tow package. Obviously not original of the truck, but it's nice to have on here. So you can see the plug. So hopefully that gives you a good look underneath. It's actually a really solid truck overall. You know, we just did a lot of mechanical stuff, did the brakes, tranny, a lot of engine work in general, just to make it, you know, just roadworthy, and just a good truck that someone can enjoy. You know, you can fix some of the cosmetic stuff later, but for right now, it's just a great old truck. So if you want to give me a call or make comments on the auction, you can. You know, we'd be glad to help. This is no reserve, so top bid gets it. It is going home to a new owner. Thanks for checking it out.